Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's discuss the Cognizant QA automation latest interview questions. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let me read out the questions. Okay, so the first question goes like, tell me about yourself. Explain your current project. What are your roles and responsibilities? Why are you looking for a change? That's the job change. And what is SDLC and STLC? What's the difference between smoke testing and sanity testing? What's the difference between regression testing and retesting? What is exploratory testing? What is UAT? Okay, so can you explain the defect life cycle? Difference between severity versus priority? What information do you include in a bug report? What will you do if a developer rejects your defect? What are the different locators in Selenium? What's the difference between XPath and CSS locators? What's the difference between absolute XPath and relative XPath? How do you handle dynamic elements? How do you handle dropdowns? How do you handle alerts? How do you handle multiple windows? How do you handle high frames? What's the difference between implicit wait and explicit wait? What is fluent wait? How do you upload a file? How do you scroll a web page? How do you take screenshots in Selenium? What is tail element exception? What is no such element exception? What is element not interactable exception? Can you explain the OOPS concepts? What's the difference between class and objects? What is inheritance? What is polymorphism? Difference between method overloading and method overriding? What is encapsulation? What is abstraction? What's the difference between string versus string buffer versus string builder? Difference between array versus array list, hash map versus hash set, list versus set. What are collections? What do you know about exception handling in Java? And the difference between checked and unchecked exceptions. What is constructor? Can constructor be overridden? What are test ng annotations? What's the difference between before method and before class? What is test ng XML? What is data provider? What is parameterization? What is grouping? What is parallel execution? Difference between soft assert and hard assert? What's automation framework? Why do we need it? Explain your hybrid framework. Why page object model is chosen? What is page factory? How do you maintain test data? How do you generate test reports? What are reusable methods? What is API testing? What's the difference between get, post, put and delete? What are the status codes? What is JSON? How do you validate API response? What is authentication? Explain rest assured framework. What is BDD? What is Gherkin? What is feature file? What's the difference between scenario versus scenario outline? What are step definitions? What is data table? What are tags in Cucumber? How do you run specific scenarios? Explain one defect you found and how you handled it. Explain a challenging test scenario. And how do you decide what to automate? What test cases would you write for login page? How would you test a payment page? How would you test Snapchat business manager member invitation functionality? How do you validate payment methods like credit card, PayPal and Apple Pay? How do you perform API and UI validation together? What will you do when the login button is not working? A test case passes locally but fails in the Jenkins. What will you do? A defect is not reproducible. How will you handle it? A build is released with a critical defect. What action will you take? If requirement changes after automation is completed, what will you do? How do you handle flaky test cases? Why do you want to join Cognizant? Why should we hire you? What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? What is your notice period? Do you have any other offers in hand? And where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Okay, guys, answers for all these interview questions along with 10,000 plus real-time interview questions and detailed answers. Okay, I have given a link in the description. It's a ultimate full stack QA automation interview mastery kit. Okay, please do check out. It has been built after 13 to 14 plus years of real IT experience, and it has been crafted after taking 3500 plus automation interviews, and it covers the actual interview questions asked in top companies. Okay, top companies in the sense product based, service based startups and mid-sized companies, and it has been designed for 0 to 15 plus years of experienced candidates. Okay, so the link is given in the description and also in the comment box. Please do check out and let me know if you have any queries. Okay, thank you so much for watching my video. All the best for your upcoming interview. Happy learning, happy testing.